All right, what's good everybody? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more like an instructional tutorial type of video. And I know for these type of videos, people just want to get straight to the point, right? So yeah, no introduction. Let's just get straight to it. You guys are struggling with your 808s, and I'm going to try my best to help you guys out to the best of my capabilities, because I'm not like the perfect 808 instructor by any means, but I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my 808s and what plugins I use and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I have this beat pulled up right here. I made this beat when I released my MIDI pack, so I'm just going to be showing you guys you know, what I use, for what plugins I'm using, and how I EQ these 808s, you know, as I'm going. But let's just hear the beat real quick so you guys can get a feel, like you guys can get like kind of like a, you know, so you guys can know how it sounds. So let's go.
Bless those keys, Rmc.
All right, well, you guys get the point. So you know, this beat has a couple instruments playing. Has a guitar, has a nice piano, and has all your, you know, your elements that you use for a normal beat. So I just want to go straight and talk about the 808, and let's just go ahead and solo that real quick. You hear that right there? Now, rule number one, I would say, is the easiest way to get your 808s to sound good on any device, on your phone, especially your cell phone, because I know that's what we all struggle with, or that's what I hear the most. Like, I can't get my 808s to sound like yours on the phone. How do you get your 808s to sound like that on your phone and stuff like that? So the best thing I can recommend is get yourself a good 808 sample. That is probably like the number one rule. Get yourself a good 808 sample, because it's just gonna make your life easier. Get some kits. My new free MIDI kit has a nice 808 in there. It has one 808 as a bonus, but it's a very good 808. You can definitely cop that for free, no charge. So yeah, and then the link is in the description in case you want to download it. So let's hear how it sounds again with the kick. And just keep in mind, this 808 already doesn't sound bad on its own. Like, I haven't added anything to it. So let's go ahead and EQ this. So let's go with the kick. Let's go with the 808. Now keep in mind, I'm using the fat filter, but you guys can use your normal stock plugin. It doesn't matter. This is just my preference. So what I like to do is I like to use cut some of the low end, right? You see where the frequencies are hitting right here, right? You can tell frequencies are hitting hard right here. So the trick to make it sound like for it to be noticeable on all devices on your phone and things like that is not to get the low end. You see, the low end is not going to be noticeable on a cell phone, because your cell phone doesn't have a sub. Your cell phone doesn't have any low end features. It doesn't. It just has some like low budget speakers. Maybe they're not low budget, but you know, they're not the best speakers that have a sub bass. So what you want to do is you're going to want to raise some of the mids right here, some of the mids, and lower some of the lows, because your kick's gonna hit right here. Watch the difference just with that. Now off. You hear the drastic difference right there? And the reason that is because you're raising up the mids. Now your phone, and you know, a lot of speakers that don't have a lot of sub bass and stuff like that, they have mids and highs mainly in the speakers. So if you raise up the mids or the highs, but obviously we don't want to raise up the highs on the 808, you know, we want that to be the bass foundation. So it's still, you can still get away with it if you raise up some of the mids. That's why a lot of people are like confused and panicking and like, why can't I hear my 808s on, you know, on all mixes? Is because you're not raising up the mids. Obviously, I mean, I'm exaggerating the way I'm raising them up here, but you want to just get to a good point. Just go with your ear, right? Off. And it still sounds pretty good off without the EQ. But with it on, you could definitely hear more of it. Now, a huge mistake a lot of people make is they think that they need to add more volume. Big mistake. Never do that. Never think, oh, I know why it's not sounding, or why it's not sounding good on my phone, why it's not sounding good on the speaker. It's because it doesn't have enough volume. No, it's not that. It's all about EQing and maybe some of the plugins you use, but definitely has to do with the EQ. The way you EQ your 808, it's gonna make the difference on your phone. It's gonna make the difference on any speaker that doesn't have a lot of low end. Okay, so take that tip. It's a really good jam right there. Just saying. The easiest way after you EQ that properly, the easiest way, that's what I mainly do. But if you want to add a compressor to sidechain your 808 with your kick, I use this sidechain right here. All right, this is called a C6. It's from Waves. You guys can go ahead and check that out if you guys want to check that out. You know, so what I do is I just go right here, go to instrument. It's super easy. It says a sidechain. It already has a sidechain option. So just go to instrument and you go to kick, where the kick is, and it's sidechained already. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't adjust things. So let's just say the threshold is really high up, right? This depends on how much you want it to come down as soon as the kick hits, right? You can see right here. And it sounds a little cleaner, you see? Now you don't want to go all the way down, because then you're not gonna have much to work with. Like if you bring these down, all you're gonna hear is the kick, because you just lower down your mids and your lows. So you want to leave it at a good level. That, you know, that give the kick some room to breathe when it's going in. If you're gonna use this plugin, of course. And you can still hear the 808 coming in, right? Okay. Now the last thing I use most of the time. Now I don't use this on every 808. Like I said, recently I've gotten some really good 808s that I hardly do almost anything to them. I just really EQ and I feel like it's ready to go. That's one thing that you guys should keep in mind also. Don't think that you guys have to add every single plugin and every single EQ and effect on every single beat. Like you guys have everything already as a preset and you're using it every single time. No, that's something that's just, it depends on the beat. It doesn't have to be the same things every single time. Most of the time I just EQ and maybe throw in like a overdrive or like a distortion plugin, you know, level it a little bit, and that's it. I'm done with the 808. I don't mess with it more. Remember this, that your ears are always gonna be like your main reference. Your ears, trust your ears more than anything. And even though you see something visual here, trust your ears. Pretty sure they're gonna work a lot better. And if maybe you have bad mixing ears, then train them. They'll get better with time. So the last thing I like to do is throw in this vitamin plugin. Now what this does is it just enhances like the boost. It enhances all like the frequencies without having, you know, to raise up the volume as much. So I really like to use this. I don't try to, you know, depend on this. Like I said, I like my 808s to already be kind of good when I'm purchasing them or when I'm making them, whatever the case may be. But I like to use this plugin sometimes when I just want to add that oomph to that 808. So you guys can see here how the difference that it makes. Once I raise up a little bit of the mids, then I'm gonna raise it all the way up so you guys can see. You see, that's way too much. I really just add a little touch to it right here. Maybe a little bit on the low. and that's it. Now with it off, you can hear a slight difference in there. It's not a huge difference. Now if you raise it more, you can definitely hear a huge difference, but I don't want, the point is not to make a huge difference all the time. It's just to blend it in with the mix. It could sound nice and it could blend in nice with the mix, with the rest of the instrumental tracks and everything. So keep that in mind as well. So now let's hear the whole beat together with the 808. You see how it just stands out nice? The 808 is standing out super nice. It's not distorting. Nothing is wrong, and you can hear it very clearly. And without all this off, it sounds more wide, you see? But with it on, it just brings that extra.
Rmc.
See, when I turn off all the plugins, you could definitely hear a big difference, especially because of the EQ. It just sounds more lower and, you know, more wide, which is not a bad thing. But like I said, if you want it to pop out on every single device that doesn't have a low end, that's pretty much the key. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope I was able to help in some way, shape, or form. I know 808s can be tricky, especially when you're cooking up and then you stop because you notice something's wrong with the 808 and you just stay such a long time trying to fix it. I know how that feels. So I hope that this was able to help some way. Like I said, don't think too much. Let your ears be the reference and just try to EQ. And also, like I said, buy some good 808s. That's the best thing to do. There's some that you can download. You can download one for free right now. Link in the description. Come on. But yeah, I know 808s can be tough sometimes. Let me know if this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of these. I'm out. It's your boy. Stay blessed and stay positive. Let's go.
Bless those keys, Rmc.